Okay. What's going on, YouTube? This is me, Jeff, along with Tony, and we are going to cut in with a different...
Let's do that again, Jeff.
Okay.
That was unnatural.
Very unnatural.
Yeah. How much fucking chest do you have, motherfucker?
I'm trying to say that.
I got all of it.
I got all of it, baby. What's up, YouTube? Coming back at you, giving another video here. We're going to cut in to our usual videos that I've been trying to get caught up with. We've been doing them in order as best as I can, but this one's a little more time sensitive. By the way, this is Tony. Glad to have him here with us. Don't want to forget him because he's very important because people actually want to watch him instead of me.
And this is Jeff, by the way.
My name is Jeff.
Very good. Wanted to come on and talk a little bit about yesterday's comments made by Mr. Bill Maher about comic book fans and the general lack of depth, I guess you could say. Would you say lack of depth?
Yeah.
Presented by comic book fans and that sort of thing. Yesterday, he doubled down, is what they're saying, on his comments about comic book fans and Kevin Smith and his opinions about the passing of Stan Lee. And right now, take you just a minute, show you some of the things that he said.
Tonight's editorial is about Stan Lee, who, if you missed it, died in November. And a few days later, I posted a blog that was in no way an attack on Mr. Lee, but took the occasion of his death to express my dismay at people who think comic books are literature and superhero movies are great cinema, and who in general are stuck in an everlasting childhood. You can, if you want, like the exact same things you liked when you were 10. But if you do, you need to grow up. That was the point of my blog. I'm not glad Stan Lee is dead. I'm sad you're alive. I wasn't even aware that I had ruffled so many capes. Until I saw that 40,000 Twitter followers unfollowed me like that. To which I say, good riddance, follow Yogi Bear. People tweeted things like, I learned about social justice and racial tolerance by reading comic books. Okay, but now you have pubic hair. Read James Baldwin, read Toni Morrison, read Michael Eric Dyson. Even a book as dumb as the Bible gets this. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things, including my X-Men bedsheets. Folks at Stan's company, Team Stan, wrote an open letter to me and said, you have a right to your opinion that comics are childish and unsophisticated. Many said the same about Dickens, Steinbeck, Melville, and even Shakespeare. No, they didn't. No.
Well, aside from Bill Maher's actions and his nonchalant, I guess, demeanor, saying that he really couldn't care less about Stan Lee's passing away or the feelings of comic book fans or any of Stan Lee's friends and family members that suffered a loss, he basically insults, in my opinion, the work of Stan Lee over the last several decades of creating his own little world and being able to sell it to other people.
But not only that, he goes against, you know, Stan Lee as you know, an author, a comic book writer, a movie producer, Kevin Smith, and the entirety of the fandom.
You suck, you jackass.
That he just decides to hate on. And for what reason?
Well, the reason, in my opinion, is simple. And
You ain't got no child in you, bro.
Yeah, but
You grew up too much.
well, excuse me. Bill Maher was pretty much a non-issue overall in mainstream media until he found a nerve.
Oh yeah.
He found a nerve. He made some kind of ugly comment. He specifically came right out and said, "Hey, I used Stan Lee's passing as a platform to bash all the comic book fans that are out there because I'm not getting the ratings." Basically,
You're a loser.
Say that, but that's basically what it comes down to.
Oh, he got him though.
Yeah, he got him, and I hate that we're talking about him in a way because by talking about him like this,
It's just giving him more media.
we're giving him more media. We're giving
Because obviously you're gonna have to go and see what we're talking about to even get why we're pissed off about it.
yeah, because you'll want to see the whole blurb, and it's out there.
The whole.
Yeah, but he chose.
Bill Maher's a whole.
Well, maybe, but and
Of the ass persuasion.
yeah, but
My opinion.
yeah, everybody has it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, including Bill Maher. But basically, he found a nerve, and it upset enough people that he decided to dig a little deeper because there, and especially when you get to his level, there's no such thing as bad publicity. If he's out there and he's bashing people and making them mad and all that other, he polarizes and makes people, choose sides. Well, that's good for him because that means more people are going to be tuning in and watching him.
I believe that he found a nerve, but the fandom public also found his nerve, and that's why he's lashing out again. Mm-hmm. Because he even says it himself within days of him putting this on the air.
The first video.
Yeah, the very first one. 20,000.
No, 40.
40,000?
40,000 Twitter followers.
40,000 Twitter followers.
Just on Twitter, within the first few days of
Dropped
the first video he did. Dropped him.
This has been a while.
Baby.
There's a whole lot more since then.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yeah, and that was one social media
Yeah, that's one
outlet.
media platform. Just one.
Um,
He's on several.
you know,
And I think that's what it is. I think he's got his little feelings hurt because, he's not throwing out the hard issues, so now he's got to dig at something that has nothing to do with him whatsoever, and people are lashing back.
yeah.
And he's not used to it. I mean, he's used to one or two people at a time in his face talking to him. 40, 50, 60,000 people at once. You're going to start losing, bro.
Well, and now here in most of what I had to take notes because sometimes I tend to chase rabbits and I'm going to try real hard to stay on point.
Me too, bro.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, my computer's sitting here. Otherwise, I get off track.
There's too many things to be pissed about, y'all.
Yeah, there's a
too
lot.
Many.
Yeah, there's a lot that he said that would be real easy to get unhappy about, especially in this because and it's going to be hard for me to stay on track. So that's why I got it. But anyway, first of all, and I'll try to take it in order that he said as best as I can. Enjoying things as an adult that you enjoyed as a child is not insulting. It's not stupid. It's not even uncommon.
People have made great and very expensive careers at that exact same thing.
Yeah.
Keyword, Kevin Smith.
Right.
Which you decide to take a shot at for no particular reason.
Just because he's there. And granted, because they're there, it makes them a sitting duck. But I mean, they're...
Because he's the most factualized and famed one out there that has done that. Because that's all he ever wanted to do as a child.
Yeah. And honestly, this kind of entertainment, this type of thing, it doesn't really hurt anybody.
And it is entertainment.
It is entertainment, and most people recognize it as entertainment. You're always going to have people who are extreme in anything.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be...
Believe me, there's some people that are sitting in your audience that is way too into you. Because believe me, half the crap you said wasn't really funny, bro.
No.
We didn't find, amusing. I mean, some of the stuff you say and do, yes, was amusing, is amusing. You do have some top key points on things that does get laughs. I think you just stab it at the dark with stuff. You just try to find things to get that ratings up, man.
Right. And really, that's all you're doing. You're doing your form of entertainment, Stan Lee, Marvel, DC, any number of the smaller comic book venues that are out there. They're doing the same thing you're doing. They're trying to entertain. You're doing it your way, they do it theirs.
Your TV show is somebody else's comic book. And I don't think you grasp that.
And really, in a world today where people are doing everything, they have to pick between whether they're going to use their paycheck to buy groceries or medicine for that month, or if they have to go to the hospital because their loved one is on life support and the doctors are trying to tell them, well, we could try this and see if we have any luck, or you can just cut the life support off and let them go. It's kind of nice to have some form of entertainment that's clear cut, good versus evil, right versus wrong, with heroes that we relate to, that we can understand, people that we have grown up with, people that we've known since we were 10 years old, and they're always going to be there because all you have to do is pick up a comic book off the shelf and see what their latest adventures are, or what they're doing.
And I hate using this term because it is so downed in today's society as a problem thing, but it's a safe place. It's something that's regular, that stays constant, that doesn't ever turn you away from it. And yeah, there are troubled people out there that turn stuff like this, and it is the highlight of their day.
It is what it is. I mean, but again, it's entertainment, and ultimately, it's an escape from the real world. It gives you a chance to get away for a little while. But and some of what Bill Maher said makes sense a little bit to a certain degree. Some of the movies, yeah, okay, they have a lot of similar themes. You mentioned the glowy thing. I think the glowy thing.
Let's see, some of that does not have powers, receives powers, and then has to go find their glowy thing. You, my friend, are doing the exact same thing. You were a normal human being, then you got into political commentary, and then you got funny about it, and you got a TV show. And what is the TV show? Your glowy thing.
Mm-hmm. And even though a lot of these glowy things that you're talking about in these movies may sound silly, I think you got a number written down there about how much money these movies bring in because people just...
I don't even have the money. Just even bring it all up. But the fact of the matter is, you say that comic books is not literature, and that the movies themselves aren't great cinema. Well, tell me something. What's the highest grossing movies right now? The entire Marvel industry.
What's the highest grossing movie you've ever made, sir?
Got him! Got him!
I'll bet
he makes
you.
Movies?
I'll bet you that it doesn't even come close
to the crappiest
to what they made with Catwoman or Venom. I guarantee you didn't make near as much money as they did in one of your movies. So, and that being said, a lot of the literary stuff that you're talking about, saying that it's not great literature, over the year, first of all, it's not really meant to be. I mean, anybody that has any common sense, it's not meant to be great literature.
Well, I don't know.
It's meant to be a popcorn movie. You're supposed to enjoy it.
Comic books themselves, that's the thing about them. They're everywhere. Mm-hmm. They got graphic novels. They got full-on Pictionary tales from, there's freaking books this big. I know.
Yeah. But, I mean, you look back at comic books themselves, and they've had to tackle some stuff that other literature has not really had to deal with. Because it's a monthly periodical, stories of people that go from month to month, fighting crime and destroying evil on all of that. Well, then, I mean, go back and look and see what some of the things that they said that they had to deal with when Superman was out and World War II broke out. How did they handle that? You got somebody who has so much, so much power. He himself, by himself, could walk into Berlin, bullets bouncing off of him and everything, could have snapped Hitler's neck. War would be over. That'd be it. How did they handle that? And they talk about that in other videos. And we're not going to get into all of that. They talk about everything from nuclear war, the Cold War, racism, all of this stuff that has been problems, social issues, all of our lives, and they still continue to hit on those all the time.
But not only that, the movies use that as a platform to dive back into a little bit of history, and the youth today want to find out. They want knowledge. They want to find out about as much things as possible. So they'll use these movies as platforms to go back and actually learn about history themselves.
Right. And I mean, now of course, Bill Maher mentions things like King Lear and Moby Dick. By the way, he obviously Bill Maher is not a fan of literary arts either, because one of the things he said was that nobody said that King Lear or Moby Dick was childish and stupid. Basically, King Lear was only performed in the Globe Theater once or twice. The way it gained notoriety is a guy, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, Nahum Tate, I believe. Nahum, Nahum, Nahum Tate, came up with his own version called The History of King Lear, and that was the play that they used, and he rewrote it to have a happy ending, have a couple love stories in it, and that kind of thing, basically a pop culture type version of King Lear, and that was what was presented as the English version of King Lear until 1838. The real version of King Lear did not gain popularity until after writing on Mr. Tate's coattails. And Moby Dick was a flop. A literary, commercial flop. Did not do anything. Go anywhere. Was completely out of print. They weren't printing it anymore until, I'm sorry, I just drew a blank. Melville. Sorry, I couldn't think of what his name was. Until Melville passed away. And then they republished a bunch of his works, including Moby Dick. And it wasn't until the early 20th century before they started recognizing it as a literary masterpiece. Yeah.
And I believe I actually bought Moby Dick at Target in the dollar section.
We are talking about the book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I want to talk about Moby Dick damn self.
Yeah. No.
I found a whale at Target.
You found a what? No, that wasn't quite what I meant. You bought Moby Dick at Target, not at Spencer's, or
I bought it at Target.
Whatever.
In the dollar section.
Cool.
The book.
The book. Very good. That's
I don't know if that helps his point, my point, your point. Whose point?
Whose point?
That happened.
There is no point. Half the time, that's part of our charm. It's half the time.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? By the way,
You suck.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I will throw a few of those out there before it's all over with. By the way, Mr. Maher, one last point that I'm going to throw out there before I feel like I've said all I need to say about this. Your show, the time when I finally found out what your name was or who you were, what you had to do with anything, was a TV show called Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher.
I remember that.
Remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah, it was from 1990.
Vaguely.
It came on ABC from 1993 to 2002. The interesting thing is, in 1996, ABC was purchased and acquired by Walt Disney, which means that your political commentary career was at least in part from 1996 to 2002 carved out by Mickey Mouse.
Don't talk to me like that, you little piece of
It's childish and stupid. But you have pubic hair. Maybe you should grow up a little bit.
I believe he's growing up too much. I mean, you talking about the hashtag adulting. Maybe you need to hashtag kidding. Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you need to get back in touch with some of your younger self, because I mean you're taking shots at stuff like Kevin Smith, the Bible, Stan Lee, his work, directors of specific movies and stuff, and millions of fans and people. I don't know. Kind of think you're an asshole. This is kind of where it's then. Where it's going.
You suck.
This is America.
I just see you judging. That's all I see. Yeah. You and all of your little, your side cronies that you have working for you. It's just judging. That's all
America.
it is.
You have the right to. You have the right to be an asshole. You have the right to judge people however you want to. Just like we have the right to read comic books if we decide we want to. Just keep in mind.
Watch a movie.
Yeah, watch a movie. Go to what movie we want to watch for the pure value of entertainment. Just because we would read comic books does not mean that's all we read. Just because we go watch superhero movies doesn't mean that's all.
And collect action figures.
Just because
stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
And just to put a point that I was going to a few minutes ago but forgot about on what he said, with people that have family members in the hospital or something wrong's going in their life and something like that, and they use these particular things as a getaway. These people also collect certain items and action figures, movie props, stuff like that. Stuff that you might think is stupid, but a lot of these people actually collect this stuff because it actually does have a value to it. And if something happens later on in their life, they can sell this stuff off and have a nice little nest egg of money to take care of things. And that's another reason why people do it. Because not only is it something that's fun that you can invest in, but it does pay off.
Well, and that's something else that we were
coming from a collector myself.
And we were talking about this, and it's one thing I almost failed to mention because one of the things he does talk about is playing with collectible action figures. Most of the people,
or his words was,
dolls. But most people who do that, we were talking about this off camera. I don't believe most of them don't play with dolls. They don't get in there and set their little dolls up and play action figures and shoot and kill and stuff like that, like a couple of 8-year-olds.
I got my G.I. Joes for that. I don't need to get the expensive ones out.
There you go. Yeah. But most of these people, not only do they collect them for the monetary value, but it's kind of like going back and visiting your childhood home. You don't, if there was a town that you grew up in and you spent to like 5th, 6th, 7th grade, and then your parents moved off to another larger city or something like that, you don't go back to visit that town and see that school that you went to and the store you always went to and all that stuff because you want to play in the playground again or anything like that. You go because you want to remember that time when you were playing in the playground, those good times that you had, those things that you had. And when you actually get a piece of, whether it's a Transformer or Star Wars or something like that, you get it in your hands. You remember those times when you were a child, you were sitting at the table playing Star Wars or G.I. Joe or X-Men or He-Man, whatever, and you remember those times when it was simpler and that, and you remember, hey, I remember this time when I had this toy and I had this and I played and we had to take a quick break for just a second, but basically what I was trying to get at was that people don't buy this stuff and trade this stuff and sell this stuff. They don't, or because they want to play with it. It's just a piece of their childhood, and they get to relive their childhood vicariously through having these pieces that they had at one point or another when they were young. So
I think the most part of that is you've grown up too much, man. You got to pull it back.
Get off my lawn.
If you can't see where you came from and the things that made you happy when you were younger, then you've already grown up way too damn much. And it's just not good. It's not good for you. I don't know what I was going with that.
Well, basically, it's the same thing as he says. He thinks that whether he think he said several times that he believes that certain things, including religion and comic books and things like that, I'm sure, are, what does he say, a neurological disease, I think is what he called it. But anyway,
well, he's upset that we're even alive, you know.
I mean, yeah, he's upset that we're alive. Not so much that Stan Lee has passed away, but that we are still alive. But anyway, you know, you just keep being you there, Bill Maher, and we'll keep being us. And you know, whatever works for you, then great. And you know, you can talk to your people who don't like comic books and don't like having fun and don't like celebrating the holidays and that
hashtag adulting too much.
Hashtag adulting too much. I like that. And in the meantime, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. And I just had to get out here and say something because he just, like I said, I have a lot of family and friends who are into comic books, comic book movies, the comic book genre. In fact, I'm very, very much so looking forward to the new Godzilla movie that's coming out here soon. I'm looking forward to going and watching it. Do I think it's going to be anything profound? No, it's going to be about a bunch of giant lizards and monsters and dragons and stuff that go out and obliterate the world until Godzilla beats them and goes back into the ocean. I already know what's going to happen, but I still want to see it.
And you know, your attack on this stuff, it crosses over into our genre as well. You know, the horror genre, the collecting genre of the fan-based people out there. So it does hit us as well, and that's why we're putting our 2 cents into this. Because you know, it's comic books today, it's horror movies next. It's it's this, it's that, it's everything anybody's into that doesn't line up with your side of you.
But on the bright side, by us bringing you up in our video and making you bigger and giving you more media, you know, by you talking about this on your show, all you did was promote us. So that being said, so thank you. Anyway, if you guys agree with us, disagree with us, we'd love to hear your comments down here below. We really appreciate to hear anybody's side of it, even if you think that we are a bunch of overgrown kids that don't know how to grow up and act like grown men and women.
And we're not trying to ruffle any feathers. We're just putting our point of view out there. You know, we're not trying to, tick anybody off or, have any problems with, anybody or any specific things. We're just, we're hitting on topics that need to be touched. Yeah, because, I mean, really, we know a lot of people, be it horror or comic or whatever, and they, even though they are different in ways, horror and comic and that sort of thing, they're different genres, but basically we're kind of sort of in the same boat because we do so many of the similar things. This is what happens when you give a liberal a TV show and let him voice his own opinions about things he knows nothing about. Yeah, well, that happens. But anyway, if you disagree with us, tell us where we're wrong. If you agree with us, let us know. Give us a like. Be sure to subscribe. We'll get back onto our regular videos as much as regularly scheduled programming after this, and I'll try to get caught up. There's going to be some Christmas type videos still yet that I'm trying to get caught up on. I think there was an earthquake of anger that just happened. The whole camera went. Yeah, that could be. That happens. Hulk smash. So, exactly. Yeah, literary excellence right there. But anyway, again, me, Jeff, Tony, signing off for now. Guys, be sure to keep watching and subscribe, and we will be back with another video shortly. In the meantime, stay tuned, stay safe. I know what you think. Does Dean Winchester stand in front of you? Nah, I'm that sexy. You like what you see? Check out some more stuff.